Hey guys, I am back again with the Dewalt speaker build. I just wanted to show you a couple things, and then I want to show you the internals and how we hooked it up before I change it around. If you remember, we originally were going to do a port on this box. And the reason why we're doing a ported box is because this high-vi woofer fit perfectly for this size enclosure. And so we were very excited about the prospect of being able to use that. The only issue that I didn't take into account is this plastic. The thing about this plastic right now is it is very, very flexible. And so as soon as the base hits, it actually, because it hits so hard, the amount of pressure that goes in there actually bends the plastic back and forth. And because of that, you don't get the sound quality that you would really expect from this type of speaker. And so after much deliberation, I built this. You'll see this. Now this is just clamped together because I haven't glued it or anything. The reason why I built this was to test it out. But it's a completely sealed enclosure, and I just ran some clamps on it to see how it would work. I'm not going to use this top part. This top part's already, glued into here. I'm just going to use the other three sides. I have decided that I'm going to go sealed. I tested it out. It sounds so much better, and the woofer has a much stronger back and sides to brace it against. This is just 1/4-inch wood. I didn't use anything else. I thought maybe I would need 1/2 inch, but no, the 1/4-inch actually works well. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to run all the wires. Some of the wires are going to have to go through this box because of the way that we have it wired up in there, but we're going to go sealed. Let me quickly teach you a little bit of the difference between sealed and ported, and the reason why we did ported in the first place versus sealed. Typically, ported will go lower, will give you higher SPL, sound pressure level, to the port that you have tuned, assuming that you've went into a program like WinISD and figured out where you should tune it to. So what that means is, like, for example, with this particular woofer, its F3 when we tuned it at 47 hertz was around 47 hertz. So it's pretty linear until it gets to 47, and then it drops about 3 decibels when it gets to 47. Now, when you go ported, after 47, it drops like completely off. The other problem is typically with a ported, you do have to do a low pass on it. I'm sorry, a high pass on it. And the high pass, what that does is at 47 hertz, it makes sure that the cone doesn't do what they call excursion or bottom out. And typically the cones start getting really floppy after the port tune. So after about 47, 45 hertz, it's going to get really floppy, and then you're going to have to put a high pass in around that. And I was planning to do that until I realized that this case just wasn't going to be strong enough to withstand the force that this woofer puts out. Now sealed actually can get you much lower extension, meaning that it can go down. So ported, if it drops at 47 hertz, 47 is about the max you're going to get out of it. But with a sealed enclosure, you might get all the way down to 20 or 10 hertz. Having said that, it's not going to be very loud. The SPL will be very, very low. Your SPL drops much sooner, but it's much more gradual. And so I think this F3 is going to be around 80 hertz. But you'll still get 60, 50 hertz. The SPL is just going to be lower, and you'll still get around, you'll still get in the 40s. It'll just once again be much lower volume. So that's the difference between sealed and ported. In this particular instance, sealed is much better, and I like it because the box isn't that big, and it can still fit within there. And so I took some measurements. I think this is 9 inches wide by 3.75 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. Okay, so having explained that, now I'm going to go ahead and show you the internals and how it's hooked up.